I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a radio announcer. I'm a high school football coach. And since I was old enough to stand on the side of a stream next to my dad, I've been an angler. I've fished with bait, lures, and flies. I've fished with spinning gear, fly rods, jigging poles, and tip-ups. I've stood on ice, waded rapids, and been tossed about the deck of a boat. And I want you to love fishing, be it freshwater or salt, heavy flows, high seas, or cutting through a foot of ice, as much as I do. No matter what the quarry, no matter the tactics, no matter the chosen tackle. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Yankee Fisherman. This Thursday, November 3rd. Election time is almost over. I think we could all use a break from that. Nice way to get a break is to take a fishing trip. And there were a couple of chances in recent weeks that I went on and got some footage on. We're going to start up in the Kent area where the Mianus and Candlewood Valley Trout Unlimited chapters took an outing up to fish the Housatonic, and then there was an event at Housatonic River Outfitters. Got a chance to sit and talk to Harold McMillan about his store there. Let's take a visit to what's a really neat fly shop. We're at Housatonic River Outfitters in Cornwall Bridge with Harold McMillan. Harold, the Housatonic, like every river in Connecticut, has been hit by the recent drought conditions. How was the summer and the early fall in terms of fishing up here?
Well, to be honest, there wasn't a lot of summer fishing. Depending on water levels and conditions, there really was no trout fishing. It was too hot. We had too little water. I haven't seen levels like this in 20 years. The opportunity we did have for most of the year was drifting either above or below the TMA for the pike, the smallmouth, and big carp. So, what was taken away on one hand was really given back to us on the other hand. So we were able to develop a really good warm water fishery, and it kind of forced us into doing that this year.
And one of the things that sets the Housatonic apart is that you have that variety of species that you might not find on some of the other rivers.
Right. The biodiversity here is really unheard of in the East. Between the trout and the warm water species and the prolific insect activity. It's an unbelievably healthy ecosystem. It's just volatile in both temperature ranges and river flows. What can be great on one side, it can be a liability on the other side.
We're just days from Governor Daniel P. Malloy issuing a drought watch for much of Connecticut. What does that mean in terms of fall and winter fishing up here?
It doesn't mean much for us. We're not an impoundment, so since we were able to implement natural flow on the river in both Mass and Connecticut, we are what we get. Unlike the Farmington River, if you look up in Upper Mass, they have 15 cubic feet per second coming in. They're letting out 68 cubic feet per second, on the outflow. So therefore, you have a big absolute difference in water coming in than water going out. So you're going to see more an effect on any river that is a derivation of an impoundment. We get what we get. As it rains, our flows go up. Other rivers, they need to refill the reservoirs. It's not enough to do it. So at some point, I've heard through DEP, they may be shutting some of these impoundments down in order to save water. So it won't affect us in any way.
Saw a decent number of anglers on the Housatonic today, this Saturday, right before Halloween. Overcast, a little bit brisk. How are those conditions and what's hatching?
Normally, I would say those conditions are spectacular for this time of year. It warmed up. We had some water. They just stocked the river with fish. The hatches weren't great today. I'd like to lie to you and tell you they were. But people caught fish, using wet flies, streamers, and nymphing. There's a lot of fish in the river. The state put in, I think, 4,100 2 weeks ago. They put in another 1,200 big rainbows on Wednesday, I think it was. So we have the fish, the upflows, spread the fish out. I think it's more of an acclimation thing. They have about, 10 times more surface area, so they've been moved. So I think, with the upcoming warm weather this week, the fishing should be pretty good.
We're on a little bit of a roller coaster here, where it was in the 30s the other day. We're talking mid-60s coming up this week. Does that make it harder to figure out what's going on?
I don't know. This river is always tough to figure out anyway. The warmer temperatures aren't going to hurt us. We kind of need that to warm the river up during the day. It makes the hatches better for the blueing olives. It also allows the opportunity for late season ant hatches. So normally I wouldn't like it, but when you're coming into November and you're getting some warm stretches of weather, it's not going to hurt us.
And then as we approach winter, what can we expect on the Housatonic on an annual basis?
It depends on the flows. If we continue to get a little bit of rain, the flows stay above 200, 300 CFS, it should avoid us, the river, icing over or getting a lot of anchor ice. So, we're lucky in this river because it is such a healthy ecosystem that the fish have a lot to eat in the wintertime. So we actually, unlike other rivers, we lose more fish in the summer than the wintertime. So the fish have plenty to eat, it's just going to depend on the flows.
Since there's plenty to eat, do you get a lot of stockies that hold over?
I think we do. That would be a better question for the state. It really depends on, the size of the fish. We do a private stocking for Big Brown Trout Hatchery. The fish come in and they're fat to begin with. I mean, they're 14 to 15 inches. They weigh 2 pounds. They have a lot more fat reserves. They're finding they're holding over very well. The smaller rainbows they put in the fall, if it's a tough winter, or the smaller browns, don't seem to hold over as well. And it may be just their lack of experience or their lack of fat reservoirs to hold them through the winter, even though there is plenty of food.
Now, my first visit up here to Housatonic River Outfitters, you're right on Route 7, very convenient location. Quite an eclectic collection here. It's almost like a library, like a fishing museum, like an antique store with a tackle shop.
Yeah, well, it's kind of evolved. I mean, this wasn't in the planning. I started the fly shop and started putting things around the shop I liked and collected. And people wanted to buy them. And I said, well, they're really not for sale. And they would get kind of angry that you display items and you weren't selling them. So it kind of induced me to go out and start buying them and selling them. And we have a very large book collection of hunting books and fishing books and gardening books. And it's become a neat little thing where you can come in the store and buy some of the history of fly fishing and hunting and the geographic area. So it's been an evolution. It wasn't in the planning.
You do special events as well. We just had a tasting with Berkshire Mountain Distilleries.
Right.
How often do you do events like that?
We try to do events like that quite often, either between tying classes or fishing expeditions. We'll start doing more of them. It was pretty well received. We actually have the Taconic Distillery coming in December 17th for our Christmas party. Jim Plant is coming in a week or two to do tying. We have Aaron Jasper tomorrow. So, we have a lot going on. It's just we had to wait for the fishing conditions to improve to kind of, as they say, lure people in the door. Give them another reason to come up to the river.
Very cool. Now, what are your hours here?
Pretty much standard, 8 to 5 every day but Tuesdays. We're open till 6 o'clock Friday and Saturdays. I mean, when the fishing is going, we're open.
On the web?
On the web, dryflies.com. We have a pretty robust Facebook page. We have an Amazon store, an eBay store. So yeah, we have a pretty good platform on the web in a couple of different areas.
And you'll be open year round like the fishery here.
Yeah, we'll be open. We have a pretty robust Christmas season of web sales, and then coming into in the snow, we do snowshoe rentals, guided snowshoe events. So yeah, we really try to vary it up as the weather varies.
Well, it's a very strong recreation area. We're not far from Kent Falls State Park. We're right on the Housatonic River. There's plenty to do up here.
Oh yeah, I mean you have the Appalachian Trail, you have the Mohawk Trail, you have kayaking, canoeing. You can't swing a dead cat without running into a lake or a pond. I mean, it really is kind of the outdoor capital of the area, and unfortunately, most people still are unable to utilize all the resources. There's more resources than there are people.
Harold McMillan, Housatonic River Outfitters, thanks for joining us on Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best, offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all-natural snack bags. We save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
This is now 44 years I've been in this business. Digital came along. After I was in business for about 6 years, I had to totally reinvent the business. So I had to make a tremendous investment in my business. And Milford Bank was there for me. I don't really just consider Milford Bank a bank. I consider them a trusted partner in my business. My name is Jim Wilson, owner of Milford Photo. I choose to bank with Milford Bank.
One, two, three, Abby, you know! I want to find out how good I am. Yes, sir! If you relax, you get blown out. Let's get it done! Let's get it done!
What can you take advantage of right now?
Again, come on. I can push myself way beyond what you think.
Crush your technique. Bring it back.
On Election Day in Connecticut, the HAN network has you covered with real-time results and analysis.
Will your town vote for Trump or for Clinton?
And who will be representing you in Hartford and in Washington, D.C. HAN's news reporters and editors will be out in the field talking to the candidates, collecting results, and we'll be breaking it all down on air with live local analysis you won't find anywhere else.
Watch Connecticut Election Night 2016 live
November 8th at 8 p.m. on HAN.network and Frontier Communications channels 600 and 1600.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop this Thursday, November 3rd. Thanks again to Harold McMillan for giving us a little tour, a little information on Housatonic River Outfitters. Can't wait to get up there again. Was fun to see some of the guys fishing on a trip that was organized by the Mianus and Candlewood Valley chapters of Trout Unlimited. And TU chapters do a lot of that because it's a great way to get people involved. If you're an angler, you should be interested in conservation. And you need not be a trout angler. You need not be a fly fisherman. We just went out with Nutmeg TU out to Penfield Reef and Fairfield to try our luck with, you'll see how much success we had for bluefish and stripers. I know out to the east they got hit real hard.
Yes,
Friday night. Yeah,
all the way up.
My brother's in Colchester, and he said it just opened up for a while.
They got like 4 or 5 inches of rain in an hour.
Worcester, they had floods.
Really?
There's video on I think it's Weather Channel of the streets in Worcester and standing water and running water in the streets. So it came down quick. I just hope it gets to where it has to get.
Even the Farmington is so low. It's just.
But they're stocking it. They just stocked. I just thought they stocked salmon at Campville. So
Oh, they did.
They just did. They said the temperature is low enough, but they said the levels are still low. So what that means for it, I don't know.
I mean, I figured I would usually go a little bit bigger, but it's somewhat slender.
Just a little bait fish imitation there.
Yeah, and then just put a wire lead.
Yeah, that was the debate on wire lead.
I have.
Some wire on my boat. This is a goldie. It's sort of like
Yeah.
it's not a fish. It's caught.
Yeah, the bluefish come in. I mean, in October usually it's great. They'll come in and you'll see just even this 2 foot of water. You'll see them crashing in. But last year they were on the peanut bunker. I just haven't seen a lot of peanut bunker this year.
A few in that first shot.
Yeah, intermediate.
I told Ed I rigged up a new reel yesterday and nailed everything on the first shot. Did every knot hit rocked on the first shot. My wife was amazed because it's usually an ordeal. Got it like that. We're paying for it now with the wind. It's now sitting in my car because of the wind. Yeah, there's a look at the birds. Ed, look out the end of the reef. There's actually an exhibit just opened at the Fairfield Museum called Rising Tides, and it's about Fairfield's relationship with the coast and with the sound and shoreline, and some of it is about Sandy. There's some fish. No, but you got to fish. You bent the rod.
Around December 7th, 10th, somewhere around there.
There's still plenty of time.
Yeah.
But I live on the upper part in Derby, and we go to O'Sullivan's Island or Sunnyside. And,
right.
You can catch fish all winter long as the weather permits and there's no ice.
Hey guys, get ready. I'm not sure if I'm having bluefish fever, but I'm seeing splashing. There's something coming this way. Yeah, I don't think that's waves breaking. I think there's...
Well, the birds are there.
Yeah, the birds are there, and I think I see chop. Yeah, there's chop underneath it. There's chop underneath the birds. I was afraid it was bluefish fever. This seems to drop off a little where I am right now. I wonder if they run this channel. And that's what, they're slowly working this way.
Over the reef, we just cast almost parallel and just let it sort of float. And once you found a pop, it was like every cast, 3 or 4 fish.
Oh, very good.
A fun day out on the Sound with Paul Denise, Ed Grazita. Just had a great time with those guys. Can't wait to fish with them again. We'll be back in a minute to tell you about some big events coming up here on Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop. The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. My property taxes on my single-family home were close to $20,000 a year. Now that I've downsized and I'm in a townhome, and because of the condo tax laws, my fees have gone from $20,000 down to about $5,300 with the star exemption. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. This is where I want to be.
Washington Prime, now open on Main Street in Georgetown. Come enjoy our relaxed setting, excellent service, award-winning nightly happy hours, and feast on our creative new American cuisine. Connecticut Magazine's winner for Best Steak, Washington Prime of Georgetown.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. Mr. Handyman CT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
Mr. Handyman CT.com.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
I'm Frank Granito.
And I'm Donald Ing for the HAN Network.
Tune in to Nutmeg Sports Monday through Thursday, where we bring you all the top stories from Connecticut sports.
From highlights to player interviews and expert analysis, no one gets you closer to Connecticut's games than Nutmeg Sports.
Nutmeg Sports, now Monday through Thursday at 2 p.m. on the HAN Network.
If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN Network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network, and we've also reached 1.7 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to Yankee Fisherman, presented by the Dock Shop this Thursday, November 3rd. Some news affecting the Housatonic River at the mouth, right where it meets the Long Island Sound. There was a dredging project which was going to be coupled with moving that sand to Hammonasset State Park to nourish the beach there. That was supposed to begin this month, November of 2016. It has been postponed until October of 2017. This news from Bill Rock of the Waterfront and Harbor Management Commission in Stratford. That decision was made by the Connecticut State Port Authority, which is a newly formed organization. The permits are pretty much set on that. So it's just a matter now of waiting. It is something that is going to change the mouth of the Housatonic, going to make it a little more navigable for boaters. We'll keep you updated on that. Watch StratfordStar.com, MilfordMere.com, and us here on Yankee Fisherman for updates on that. Had a chance to attend the T-Mac Strong benefit at Stony Creek Brewery on Sunday. What a great time that was. Great job by everybody who put that together. It was wonderful to toast Todd McKechnie as he was there to greet people, have a beer for the first time in a while. A lot of camaraderie in that room, and the event raised more than $5,900 to help him in his battle with cancer. Stay strong, T-Mac. Great job by everybody who put that together. The Greenwich Shellfish Commission is going to kick off the local recreational shellfish season at the Fred Elser First Sunday Science at the Seaside Center in Greenwich Point Park, and that is on this Sunday, the 6th, 1:30 to 4 p.m. They're going to discuss a new project with the town of Greenwich and Yukon to provide science-based information on the ecology and natural resources of Greenwich and the Long Island Sound. You can learn about the shell fishery, how to safely and legally harvest clams, oysters, and mussels from local waters. It really is a gold mine out there if you are into shellfish. You can register for that, get more information, Cynthia E. at brucemuseum.org or the Greenwich Shellfish Commission website at the town's website. November 10th will be the next meeting of the Housatonic Fly Fishermen's Association. That is at 7 p.m. at St. Paul's Episcopal Church, 65 North Main Street in Wallingford. And Paul Denise, who you just saw casting for stripers and blues off Penfield Beach, he is going to discuss the 6 stages of fly fishing, a life's experience. We're going to have Paul on the show soon. This is kind of a new presentation by him that's going to examine the stages in the life of a fly angler, the initial discovery of the sport, that need to learn and educate ourselves about it, how it becomes addictive, the friendships that are formed, and the spirituality. Really, I'm looking forward to having a conversation with Paul about that on the show. And then the big one this weekend, Arts of the Angler, sponsored by the Catskill Fly Fishing Center and Museum, Saturday, November 5th, Sunday, November 6th, both at the Ethan Allen Inn in Danbury. $12 daily admission, $20 for a weekend pass. Kids under 12 or 12 and under are free. 8:30 to 5 on Saturday, 9 to 3 on Sunday. I'll be there on Sunday. It's a part celebration of the 35th anniversary of the Catskill Fly Fishing Center. There are a number of seminars that are included in the price of admission. Among them, and this is Saturday from 1 to 2, you can learn the art of fly casting from Joan Wolfe. You've got a living legend there teaching you fly casting, and Steve Colton will be doing his Wet Flies 101. That's from 3 to 4 p.m. Saturday. Tony Ritter, he'll talk about the Upper Delaware, the fly fishing history and politics there. Great guy there. If you want to be a fishing writer, there's a seminar and discussion of that. Some exotic locales with Terry Schultz talking about fishing the Indian Ocean, Indonesia, and Oman. Joan Wolfe again on Sunday, 10:30 to 11:30. And Nick Rubico on Montauk on the Fly. All of this information is at Catskill Fly Fishing website, cffcm.com on the web, also on Facebook. Great event. If you have any interest, if you think you're interested in fly tying, fly fishing, angling, go. Even if it's not fly, if you just want to get into fishing, great event where you're going to meet a ton of people and really feel welcome. That is going to do it for this week's Yankee Fisherman. Next week, we'll probably have some stuff from Arts of the Angler. Until then, tight lines.